down a bit. Okay.
Probably.
Okay. I think we can actually be heard. Okay, too quiet. Okay. There we go. What a start.
Gosh. It started already?
Oh, it's been going for a whole 27 seconds now.
Oh, it's recording. Okay. Good to know. Hi, everyone. Woo! We're back. Season 2.
Season 2, baby.
There was I'm finally back from the void, and I hate it, but I don't have to be there anymore. Season 2. I don't know what we're gonna do in season 2, Futterman.
Probably more of the same.
What else?
A little bit of new stuff.
Killing me, man.
I don't know. You didn't tell me what we're doing.
I did tell. Oh man, it was weeks ago, but I did tell you. Season 2, everyone. We're gonna have more regular uploads and back to normal in that respect. We might every now and then post some kind of stupid compilation because that's a thing we do now. Maybe there'll be more times where he just decides to review Lego things because he's got a wall of Legos.
Yeah, I did get some more Legos over the holidays and such.
Oddly enough, that is one of our most viewed videos, relatively speaking.
What, the Lego video?
One where you review Lego, man.
Oh. Wait, the Optimus Prime one or the Lego sets?
Oh, the Optimus Prime one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was
because our most viewed videos... Our most viewed video, no surprise, is the tier list, and our second most viewed video, no surprise, is an Unisonus compilation. And then the third most viewed video is, for some reason, the footage of me. Wait, why is there footage of me on this? How did this even get here?
What are you talking about?
The third video here. This. Why? How did this? Did you put it up?
I don't. You're in charge of the uploads. I just do the editing. Can I turn off the music now?
Yeah, I guess.
All right.
Huh. Not seeing this.
Go into our channel. Let's look.
Go to the channel page.
You talking about the forum argument?
Hold on. Are you? No. The one. It's lost.
Oh, that
just
one.
In all lowercase.
Oh, yeah. I have no idea.
Put this up here.
I didn't. No. I told you I just edit. I don't upload anything. Except for the 2 reviews I did, I guess. But that's it. So.
Whatever. I don't know what that video is or how it got here, but for some reason that's the third most viewed video on the channel. So there you go. And a special thing for season 2. We're gonna eventually, well, not yet because we're still building a backlog. So you're gonna hear this video long after we've recorded it, most likely. We're gonna start doing a new thing where instead of trying to review an entire run of Swamp Thing all at once, we're gonna read like an issue a day and do like a short 10-minute video where we just talk about the issues we read that week, because that sounds more manageable.
It does, and that means I actually need to probably remember to read that now. I keep meaning to.
I'm gonna. I figure if you don't have to read it in like big segments and you can just read like 20 pages a day, because that's about how long issues are, then it would be easier to do. Same on my end, because I need to reread it so I can catch up to where you are.
Right.
Right. I'm gonna reread it to get caught up. And then once we're both caught up, we can read like an issue a day for like 5 days a week. And then on the Friday, we can just post a video of a short review of the 5 issues we read that week.
Sounds good to me.
Then we can get through Swamp Thing at a reasonable pace. Because when was the first Swamp Thing video?
Probably over a year ago, if I had to guess. I don't know.
That video 3 on this channel?
Something like that. I have no idea.
Let me see. Made the YouTube interface worse.
They're always striving to make it as bad as possible. So
it keeps getting smaller. Now there's 4 videos per row, and eventually I'm sure it'll be 3. I'm just kind of waiting for when it's just one video, and it's just a really long column.
Yeah, I don't know. YouTube, whoever's in charge of YouTube just seems to be like, I'm not even talking about site design, just the site as a whole. They seem to be very much in a race to the bottom.
Yeah. Honestly, the only reason that they're still around in the way they are is because there isn't any real valid competitors, so everyone's still here.
True, yeah. All the creators are on YouTube, and it'd be way too hard for them to migrate out to other things, so and still get the exposure that they get on YouTube. So, yeah, they basically have a monopoly over this incredibly niche website thing. I don't know. What are we talking about today?
Oh yeah. Oh hey, but shout out. We have 14 subscribers now. I don't know who the hell is watching this channel, but thank you, I guess. So, huzzah!
Huzzah! Yeah. So.
Well, anyways,
what are we talking about?
Let me regale you with a tale. The other day, and by the other day I mean like a week ago, I was watching a Game Grumps tier list video where they talked about different flavors of ice cream. And at one point they came across Blue Moon, and none of them knew what that was, and I didn't know what that was, and they couldn't figure out the flavor. And so I'm like, okay, it can't be that hard. In the comments, all these people, it's just blue flavor. If you're from the Midwest, you just know. And it's like, okay, why is everyone being cheeky? I go and look it up. Yeah, sure enough, it's a Blue Moon ice cream is apparently famous for the fact that no one can agree totally on what it is, what the original flavor is, or who invented it or whatever. All that I know is that it's Midwest specific and it's blue, and it's a cheekiness similar to how people are when they talk about either wrestling or Cabin in the Woods. And eventually, it's like, okay, I got to figure out what this is. So I went on one of my little quests and tried to find out if they sell it anywhere. Short answer, they do not sell it anywhere around here, really, for the most part. It's pretty much specific to the upper Midwest. So I thought, okay, is there any ice cream shop on this half of the country that sells it? It's like White Castle. There's only one White Castle over here in Nevada, and I don't want to go to Las Vegas. But anyways, you've been to the White Castle in Nevada?
Yep.
So why were you at the White Castle in Las Vegas?
Because I was in Las Vegas, and you got to try the White Castle while you're in Las Vegas.
I love White Castle. I'll eat that stuff. I mean, you can only get the frozen stuff, but I mean, let's be honest, it's pretty similar to the real stuff.
It was identical to the real stuff, if we're completely honest here.
Yeah, because that's what White Castle is. They're a whole franchise that makes frozen food, and I love it.
I mean, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I'll eat that. I'll eat that all day, every day. I'd probably regret it because I'd get fat, but I'll do it.
I mean, you get a lot worse than
White
fat.
Castle. White Castle. Hey,
yeah.
White Castle, call us up.
Call us up and sponsor. Yeah, don't.
I'll shill your product. I'll shill it for free right now. Go buy White Castle. I love it, though. Yeah. Anyways, to finish the story, I found out that there is an ice cream shop in Kennewick called What's the Scoop, and they make their own ice cream there, and they sell Blue Moon ice cream. And it just so happened that very day, my dad was in Kennewick for I guess he was just making a trip to Kennewick to pick up some stuff that they don't have where we live. So I call him up, and I'm like, hey, Dad, there's this ice cream shop there. You think you could see if you could bring some of this Blue Moon stuff? And he said he'd check. He calls me back later. Apparently, they had exactly one scoop of Blue Moon ice cream left, and he purchased it and put it in a freezer bag, and he brought it back, and then he stopped by, and he dropped, and I got to try it. Oh, it was destiny. It was meant to be. Short answer is the Blue Moon ice cream tastes like vanilla cream and raspberry, and that's what my consensus on the flavor is.
All right, I guess I'll have to try it someday. When I hear it's blue flavored, that makes me think blue raspberry, because that's just apparently what the default blue flavor is now.
I don't know. No. Blue raspberry is blue raspberry. Blue flavor is like blue Gatorade.
Which I also thought was blue. I thought that was blue raspberry.
Oh, no, blue, it's more of a berry flavor, but not blue raspberry. See, blue as a flavor is usually just like a berry-based flavor, but not a raspberry, because that has a different flavor. Blue, when things are blue flavor, it's usually some kind of berry, but not usually blue raspberry.
Huh. So I guess real question, was it good?
Yes, it's very good.
Huh. I'll have to try it if I'm ever in that area. Probably not, though, because I don't ever go that way.
That's the thing. There's not a lot of places in this neck of the woods that sell Blue Moon. It's more in the Midwest.
Well, we could probably, maybe we can make it at home.
We can, actually. That's the thing. There are recipes, and they also say that like the main ingredients for the flavor are like vanilla, raspberry, and like lemon oil, I guess. But then people will come up like, that's not the real Blue Moon, and it's oh gosh, come on.
I guess that's true. If no one actually can agree on what the flavor is, I'm sure you can't faithfully recreate it at home, because everyone else probably will be saying it's made with something different. I don't know. So how does this relate to today's topic?
Oh, it doesn't. This was just, I wanted to tell the story. But there's a couple of things to talk about. Number one, I'm going to pose you a question because I trust your judgment, generally speaking, and I've got a thing to ask about.
Okay.
My comic book collection is approaching 10,000 comic books, and I'm stoked about that. But I've recently come up with a question on how I should count certain things. So tell me what you think about this. An individual comic book, right? A single floppy book, that's one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then when I have a trade paperback that has collects 4 issues, I count that as 4 because I would need to have 4 issues to have all the content in that trade paperback. Sound reasonable so far?
I suppose, yeah.
So then when it comes to omnibuses, same thing. I count however many issues are reprinted in that book. That's how many I count as having. If I've got the Sandman omnibus, each one book is 40 comics in there. So each one is I count it as 40 total towards my total. Webcomics are weird because they're not published in single issues, and they're not like a graphic novel. A standalone graphic novel I count as 1 because it was one thing that was published as one thing, so I count it as one thing, right?
Yeah.
So webcomics are usually printed either by page or by strip, and then they're sometimes on some webcomics they actually have actual books, and they compile a bunch of those. And so I've usually just counted each volume as 1. Like if a webcomic was compiled into 5 volumes and I buy all 5 volumes, then I count that as 5 comics because I wasn't sure how to count webcomics otherwise. But then I've never counted newspaper strip compilations. Like I've got Calvin and Hobbes and I've got some Dilberts, and now I've got these Ninja Turtle newspaper strip compilations, and I've never counted newspaper strip compilations because it's well, those aren't comic books, that's its own thing. But then I was thinking, I count webcomics, and that's in terms of publication method, it's pretty much functionally identical to how webcomics are published. It's just not in it's just online instead of in a newspaper. So, and I count webcomic collections. So I guess my question is, should I count newspaper collections as comics in this collection?
Well, I mean, I guess I had the same thought where it's webcomics. I guess I personally wouldn't even really count webcomics as being the same as a comic book. Like a comic book issue is a very specific thing. Webcomics, like you said, aren't published in that way, so I would almost count those two separately. But I'd say at this point, since you've committed to counting webcomics as comic books, then it just logically follows that newspaper comics should also count as comic books.
Yeah. Because there's some, because a graphic novel, for example, that's still a comic book. It's just a really long comic book. So if it's like Watchmen reads like a graphic novel, but it's 12 issues. So my copy of Watchmen I count as 12. But a comic book like what's the one, The Sculptor? You haven't read that yet, have you?
No, not yet.
Oh, yeah. Like The Sculptor, that was published as a graphic novel. It's only ever existed as that 400-page book or whatever. So I count that as 1 because that's how it was published.
Yeah.
Then
what's your question?
Then, because webcomics, it's the same kind of thing. If they have physical printings, some of them, they are even printed by Image Comics, so it seems like each book should count as 1. Then, with newspaper comics, so, I don't know, that's where it starts getting dicey, because this is a separate thing. Uh-oh.
What?
Oh, no, my computer. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Hold on, my screen.
Yeah.
There we go.
Well,
anyways, thoughts?
I guess my thought is that, well, I honestly, yeah, I mean, I guess I still see webcomics as being a lot different than newspapers. Newspapers are literally published one strip at a time, typically. Webcomics usually at least get a little more than that. So if you were to, it seems to be that, the metric you use for dividing something up by, one is, one publication, basically. So webcomic is, 1 volume, or 1, a book's 1 issue, or however it was originally published. Newspapers are originally published as strips. So if you're following the same rule for newspaper comics, you would basically have to count each strip as 1, which would, in my opinion, really artificially inflate your numbers for your collection. So I feel like maybe the way to go would be to count newspapers separately from the rest of your collection. Maybe. Yes, no. And he's gone. All right. Well, I guess this is a good time for an ad break. It's a little early, but I don't even know what the topic is yet. So let's just go ad break.
Tracy! That's great.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did we actually start again?
Maybe. Hello, welcome back.
Hi, it's like an hour later.
Yeah, technical difficulties, and then we got wrapped up talking about my new hobby.
Yeah,
my
computer died, and then he told me about why the wizard boots suck in a card game.
Yeah, I was ranting about why Stormstriders are completely busted in Flesh and Blood, and why they should never have been unbanned. Kano players can come at me.
I've got Dr. Pepper flavored Peeps here.
Nice.
But good consistency.
Yep.
Flavor's a bit strong on the finish. Really is when the aftertaste hits you that I think.
You're just trying to get me off of Flesh and Blood at this point.
No, I just thought it'd be funny. Whatever.
Anyways, what were we actually talking about? You were talking. Oh yeah, we were talking about your comic book thing.
Trying to figure out how because the newspaper things, it's like, okay, should I be counting my newspaper collections as comic books? And on the basis of I count web comics for each book, I count that as one, the same as a graphic novel, because they're not printed in issues. But then that begs it to another question that leads into a thing. There's at least one web comic I read that is published in issues. Like they still upload it page by page, but it's organized as issues. They're considered issues. And they all have their own cover art. So it's like, do I count that web comic as issues that were just published? Because digital issues is a thing. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, my 2 cents on it was I would just count it as an issue based on how it was published. So if they publish it as an issue, one issue is one. If it's published as a graphic novel, then the graphic novel together is one. If it's a trade paperback, the original number of issues that are collected is the number. And as far as newspaper comics, I would count those entirely separately because a newspaper comic strip to me is still a lot further from a comic book than a web comic is. Like, because if you were to go on that logic of like publication number, basically every newspaper strip would be one comic, which would greatly inflate your numbers for your collection.
Yeah. Well, see, and that's why I don't count. Well, that's why I don't count web comics the same way, because it's like each strip it's published like page by page. So I figure if there's a physical volume, I'll just count each book as one, and that'll be a good compromise there. But then it brings me to another thing. So I don't really have any of these yet. I think I have maybe one. But do you know about digital first issues?
Nope.
DC, and probably some other companies, has been doing this thing with a couple of comics where they publish it digitally on some service, and there's like 15 issues, but then they later publish it in a physical volume, and they publish like 7 paper issues, so 7 20-page whatevers, and so that's 7 issues now. But it was published on digital first, and on that format, it's 15 issues that are shorter. So it's like, do I count it as 15, or do I count it as the physical 7 that I have? Because it was originally published digitally, so by the same logic, I should count it as 15.
Well, by that, the specific version that you have was published as 7, so I would count it as 7.
Well, but the version I have, what does that even mean? Because if I get a trade paperback, that version was published as one book, but it collects 4 issues worth of content.
Yeah, but I don't know. I guess I'd have to see these in person to know. I guess what I would say is just count them however you feel like best represents your collection.
It's like I just want it to be accurate, but it's like, am I cheating if I count?
No, I mean,
if I count web comics, it seems like I should count newspaper comics because there's not really a lot of difference between those two things. I don't know.
I guess I would say it's your collection. Nobody else is going to care how you count it aside from you. So count it the way that seems right to you. Count it the way that it'll continually make sense to you. So if you look at your numbers and you say, I have this many issues, just count it the way that you'll know exactly what that means. You know, like if it's going to be like, okay, I have this many issues, but okay, wait, let me think now. How many of those are actually newspaper comics and how many of those are web comics? So, well, then you should probably count them separately. You should be able to just look at the number and say, that's what I have, and that be how it is.
I don't think about it, because I also have manga in my collection, and I count manga is usually serialized in like Japanese magazines, but I don't count those based on how many magazines it's in. I count it based on how many volumes it's compiled into, because the magazine thing seems insane, and there's no way to get those anyways. When they're translated.
Yeah,
it's like when they're translated and released in English, like Attack on Titan. That was serialized somewhere, but it was published as 34 volumes in English, so I counted it as 34.
Yeah, so I guess I would say count it like the way, like, okay, so it's recollected as a volume. You should count it as that one volume. A trade paperback, the difference there is that it's not being like repackaged and sold as a trade paperback, trying to market it as like one graphic novel. It still is divided into the separate issues within, and it's even advertised as being 4 volumes or whatever, or 4 issues collected into one book. So, you know, it's like, I would just go like, so I guess back to like the digital first ones. If it's repackaged and put out as, you know, 15 or 7 different issues, I would count it as 7, because, you know, it's not like they're saying this is the recollected, you know, this isn't the recollected 15 issues distributed across 7. This is 7 issues. I don't know. I could be wrong about that. That's my 2 cents on it, but I mean, you got to just decide, I guess. But what is our actual topic for this episode? You told me a topic, so I know technically what it is, but
you gotta hold on. That's fine, but now I want to ask you a second thing. Tales of the Jedi. You saw that, right?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, we're not talking about the old comic. We're talking about they made a Tales of the Jedi, like a little mini series.
I'm sure everybody knows. Everybody listening to this probably knows what that is.
Yeah, all 14 currently.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's the miniseries on Disney Plus, straight to Disney Plus.
I have thoughts on it. What are your thoughts on it?
I liked it.
Be more specific.
I thought it was pretty good. It was more of the Clone Wars, maybe not quite as good as the Clone Wars, just because it was short-form storytelling, and Clone Wars got really good at telling long-form story by the end. But I thought it was fun. You got to see a little bit of Dooku. I guess, should I put spoilers up?
Oh, because this is this is in the episode.
Oh, well, I guess we should just clarify. Okay, spoilers for Tales of the Jedi from here on, I guess. Yeah.
I'll put it somewhere that people can see it before they get here.
All right. Yeah, so Tales of the Jedi, I liked it. I liked that you got to see a little bit of Dooku before, like while he was still part of the Order. You got to see Qui-Gon as his Padawan. You got to see him kind of start to make the turn to the dark side. You got to see Yaddle a little bit and see why she was only in the one movie.
Finally
and only
found out what happened to Yaddle.
Yeah, she died. She got her head cut off by Dooku. It was brutal. Yeah. Presumably after she had Grogu.
I don't think Grogu's related to them.
I don't know. They're the only other 2 of the species. One's male, one's female. So if you do the math, it seems like they're probably, like Yoda and Yaddle are probably the parents, but that's never been
Yaddle's like half Yoda's age.
Seriously?
Yeah, she's like 400 something. Yoda was like 800 or 900.
He was 900 in episode 6 when he died. So.
Well, yeah, but that's only like 17 years after the end of the 3rd movie.
I think 19 at least.
Wait.
No, because, yeah, episode 4 takes place 19 years, because Luke is supposed to be 19 in episode 4. Right?
Yeah, I always forget that Luke is technically a teenager.
Yeah, he's supposed to be 19 in episode 4, and then, like, this original trilogy takes place over, like, 3 to 5 years or something. I don't remember.
4 years. Because there's a 3-year time skip in between 4 and 5, and there's a 1-year time skip in between 5 and 6.
Okay, well, there you go. So, I don't know. Either way.
No. It is 17 years because the Empire ruled for 20. I remember this. The Empire existed for a total of 21 years, and the original trilogy is 4 of those years. So yeah, it's 17 years. Right, but Luke is.
He's supposed to be 19 though.
It doesn't make sense. Okay, so someone screwed up at some point. There we go.
I don't know. Maybe he's not 19. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Mark Hamill was older than 19 when he played the role, so who cares?
Yeah. So okay. On the one hand, it's like. Number one, I have to just acknowledge Disney. Well, not Disney. Dave Filoni is still capable of making good stuff, even while working under Disney. So at this point, I'm now forced to acknowledge that not everything Disney creates these days is crap, because I quite liked Tales of the Jedi.
Well, I would draw a distinction between what they create and what they like put out. You know. Yeah. I don't think Disney actually made that. I think they just kind of were the ones that said...
Well, they own Lucasfilm, and Lucasfilm hasn't been that great for a while.
Yeah, well, still. Dave Filoni knows what he's doing. John Favreau, he still knows what he's doing, for the most part.
I don't know. I don't think I'm going to... I just... On the one hand, it's like I don't like being left hanging, but it's like I just don't want to invest in this anymore.
What, you talking about Mandalorian Season 3 now?
Yeah. Well, no, not yet. It just came up.
I'm assuming that's what you were just referring to, though.
Yeah, just then.
Yeah, I'll watch it. I'll watch it. I will watch it. I don't know. After Book of Boba Fett, I am not nearly as excited for Season 3 as I was for Season 2, but it still could be good. If it's got the right people working on it, it could still be very good. I like that they're going to be going back to Mandalore. You get to see more of that kind of stuff. You get to see more of like Clone Wars characters, presumably. So, and Rebels, hopefully. But anyways, So my thoughts overall on the series, I liked it. I thought it was good. Just kind of fun. Nothing like new or groundbreaking. Kind of just showed us stuff we already knew but hadn't actually seen before. So that was kind of fun.
Excuse me. So I don't know. It's like I really liked Tales of the Jedi.
Is there a but? Hello?
There's one thing.
Oh, there you
I'm
are.
still here.
So you like Tales of the Jedi, but there's one thing?
There's one thing I'm very mixed on. Because, so, I'll start with the Ahsoka stuff, okay? Always good to see more Ahsoka. She's a very good character. I know everyone's like, oh, she's over-focused on Dave Filoni's Mary Sue. No, she's not. Shut up. She's a great character.
She got people killed in the Clone Wars. That was part of her character arc.
I know.
Not a Mary Sue.
But it's like, well, it's just what people later, they're like, they act like Dave Filoni's trying to, like... Here's what you gotta understand. Dave Filoni worked with George Lucas, and George Lucas, and people are like, he's just a shill or something. It's like they disagree. Like, never mind. That's a whole separate thing. Bottom line, the Ahsoka stuff was good. It's always good to see more Ahsoka. Got to see some more of her early days. Got to see what she did. We got to see some, like, we explicitly showed, because you could have inferred it, that Anakin's training, like, specifically trained her on something, and that's one of the reasons why she, above even arguably more trained Jedi than she, was able to survive Order 66. So that's all good. And then the last section with her, with like how she got back into the rebellion. You know what that last section made me realize?
Remind me, which is this the episode where she fights
the one where she's on
Inquisitor?
where she's on the farm, and then an Inquisitor shows up.
Oh right, yeah. And I think what they're implying is that's where she got her white lightsabers too, because apparently her apparently canonically, or in the lore, I guess, white lightsabers come from like purging a Sith crystal or like cleansing a Sith crystal. So I'm guessing that's where she got it. She probably took his lightsaber and turned that. Anyways, that's beside the point.
Maybe.
That's beside the point.
That section, you realize just how much the Inquisitors and Rebels already sucked, but that section really just makes me realize just how much the Inquisitors suck in Rebels. Because the Inquisitor in like 5 minutes, in like 3 minutes of screen time, is already way more menacing, way more intimidating, and a lot cooler looking than every Inquisitor that ever showed up in the Rebels show. Even the Grand Inquisitor, who's a better character.
That's true.
It's like, gosh, the Inquisitors suck in Rebels.
Yeah, I did like the Grand Inquisitor, except for in Kenobi. He didn't need to be in that show. But the Grand Inquisitor, that was just... I don't know.
Kenobi, I don't consider canon. I never watched it, and I'm never going to.
That's the thing. I didn't even hate it as much as you did. We've talked to death about my opinions on it, but I still have a hard time even like picturing that as canon. Like even if I wanted to, I couldn't. Like I can't look at Star Wars and say, "Yep, like the stuff in Kenobi definitely happened."
The end of Clone Wars, where it's taking place alongside Revenge of the Sith, it all fits perfectly well into the movie. Kenobi, no, it's too different. All that. It just everything about it. But like, anyways, the Inquisitor at the end of the Ahsoka section, it's like, holy crap, the Inquisitors in season 2 of Rebels were bad.
Well, I would say that probably is because Rebels was, it was airing on the Disney Channel. It was written. Still, I love Rebels, so don't take this as a bash against it. But it was written like a kid's show.
One of the few Disney. It's one of the few Disney things of Star Wars that I like.
Yeah, but it was written like a kid's show. Adults can definitely enjoy it. It was a very intelligently written kid's show. But that being said, it had kids show villains. That's kind of what the Inquisitors were used as in season 2. So not nearly as intimidating as they possibly could have been.
Because it's like kid's show. It's like, okay, what's an example? They're like Avatar. Well, no, not even. Clone Wars was just a show that happened to be animated. Rebels was definitely meant for younger people overall.
Yeah, well, even Clone Wars started that way, but then like near the end of it, they started to age it up a little bit. And same for Tales of the Jedi. That was made clearly with adults in mind. They didn't care about being dark. They didn't care about handling some more mature themes.
Yeah. But, well, now I can get... So the Dooku section of Tales of the Jedi, that's what I was most excited for. Because, like, that is I always wanted to see that story. And we never got it. And I always thought that, like, it really is a shame that we never had time to just, like, film...
All right. Apparently, the universe is entirely against us recording this episode. My dog came into the room and knocked over my microphone. He jumped up to say hi, and yeah, apparently my microphone landed on my keyboard and stopped the recording, and we didn't notice. So we record like a whole nother 50, or we thought we had recorded like a whole nother 15 minutes of audio before I realized it wasn't recording. And now Wicket, which is my dog's name, by the way, he's passed out on the chair in my office. It's very cute, but hopefully he won't be doing that again. Yeah, anyways, what were we talking about? So I think the recording cut out right as you started to say that, the Dooku and Tales of the Jedi was the story you'd always wanted to see, but you had some thoughts about it. Take it away.
I did have some thought.
Take it away, Mingus. Oh, yeah, by the way, I'm Futtermann.
I already said it all, and I don't like starting over.
Oh, here, how about this? How about I summarize your opinion, and you tell me how right I am?
Sure.
Okay. This will at least put an interesting twist on it. Maybe I can say it in a more concise way. Essentially, sure. So my understanding is you liked that we finally got to see that. You always thought we needed like a little more, like basically if there was ever going to be a special edition of The Phantom Menace, you would want to include like 10 minutes of footage of just Dooku still part of the Jedi, roaming around the temple doing his thing. And that's what we finally see in Tales of the Jedi. We see him like clearing Kamino from the records and like doing the stuff that we knew he did but just never saw. And we get to see him like be Qui-Gon's master and fall to the dark side. It's essentially, so like I said, all stuff we knew happened, just stuff we hadn't actually seen before. But the part you have a problem with is that they reveal that essentially he's been working with Sidious for longer than we realized. Your impression of the story had always been that he was disillusioned with the Jedi, but his final push over to the dark side, or what finally made him get a partnership with Sidious, was Qui-Gon's death. That was like the breaking point for him. That's still kind of shown in Tales of the Jedi, but they do reveal that he has been working with Sidious for longer than that. He's been working with Sidious to some degree even before Qui-Gon died. And that doesn't sit well with you because it kind of, well, I guess, why doesn't that sit well with you? Because it goes against his reason for falling, or your perceived reason for him falling?
Well, yeah, and I'm reading through on the Wikipedia, the Legends section. And yeah, no, the original, he didn't start working, he'd met Sidious before as Palpatine, but he didn't start working for him until after he left the Order in the wake of Qui-Gon's death. So yeah, that was originally how it was.
Okay, well, I mean, this one...
Yeah, it just seems too early. It's like the idea that he would be going around doing, already was killing people, and already before he'd even left the Jedi Order, and before Qui-Gon was even dead, it's just like that makes him too evil too soon. It's kind of the same problem. It's like with Anakin in Attack of the Clones where he kills all the Tusken Raiders. Like, that scene is the only scene in his entire story that's like, something like that happens too early in his timeline. That's like way before because we're supposed to see him as a good hero, who gradually gets darker and darker throughout the show, and then it comes to a culmination in Revenge of the Sith. And it's like the scene in Attack of the Clones is like way too early. It's way too evil for how early he's supposed to be in his timeline. And it's the same thing with Dooku here. It's like if he's already doing Sith things before he even left the Jedi Order, then it's like it makes him less sympathetic and less. You can less make the argument that he wasn't evil yet and he was doing it for the greater good. It's like, yeah, but he's already. He
still thought he was doing it for the greater good. He was still very much disillusioned with the Jedi, and I think him being kind of against the Jedi Order, that came out in Qui-Gon's training, and that's why Qui-Gon didn't really meld with Jedi values completely. And that's why he wasn't allowed on the council.
Qui-Gon was one of the only Jedi who got it, and if he hadn't died, then Anakin probably wouldn't have turned to the dark side.
Yeah, apparently that's at least I think that was Dave Filoni's take on why it was called Duel of the Fates, because the outcome of that duel determined who became Anakin's master, which ultimately led to him becoming Vader or not. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't really have a problem with the Tales of the Jedi thing. I definitely see your point. I think it's valid, but I think it's still like. He still technically didn't leave the Order until after Qui-Gon died. That was like still the final breaking point for him. He had just started some degree of partnership with Sidious before that. Also because he was, sick of the Jedi. Anyways, anyways, Tales of the Jedi. Overall, though, I liked it.
I still really liked it. I think it's good. I don't like that change. It's like, I guess. The rest of it is good. And even not, it's not all bad. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways, I guess since we're on that topic, I guess we could follow up on the...
So what is the total... What's the total time of recording right now between the various segments that we're going to have to staple together later?
It's like 35 minutes because we had 15 minutes before your mic cut out, 15 minutes, another 15 minutes before Wicket knocked my mic over, and now we're about 5 minutes in, so we're at 35, roughly.
Okay. All right, well, talk about Andor then.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. On the topic of Star Wars shows that we haven't discussed yet, Andor. And this one you haven't watched, right?
Not going to watch it, yeah.
Right. Okay. Do you care about spoilers?
Oh.
All right, well then, spoilers for Andor from here on out. Overall, my thoughts on this show. It was good. It's a recommendation, but I mean, I guess if I had to give it a score, it's probably like, I don't know, I hate doing like the half score thing, but I'm going to say 6.5 out of 10. I hate going for the middle ones because that kind of defeats the whole point of having a 10-point scale, but in this case, 7 seems too high, 6 seems a little too low, because the show's not just okay, it is good, it's just not super good, I guess. So here's my thoughts on it. It doesn't feel a lot like Star Wars, and I know that's not much of a hot take. A lot of people have already said that. So I guess here's what I'll say. It's a very well written show. The characters are well done. It's good. It's just it's not very Star Warsy. It's very detached from the rest of it, which I mean is also probably working in its favor in this point. You know, like that it's barely attached to the greater canon. It was able to just kind of do its own thing. It takes place in a very concise time between episode 3 and 4, up to leading up to Rogue One. Not directly up to Rogue One. They still have space where there could probably be a season 2 before Rogue One happens. But they're working in a small window. But it's just like it. You could honestly watch this show having no knowledge of Star Wars. Like, literally, the only thing that really translates over from Star Wars, some of the characters from other things make appearances, but you get enough of an introduction to them in this that you don't really need to know who they are beforehand. And then, of course, just the fact that the Empire exists is a thing. But once again, you figure that out in the show pretty quickly. So, yeah, I guess my biggest complaint with the show is probably that it's too long. 12 episodes was really too much. They probably could have comfortably fit the story down into like 9 episodes if they had cut out some of the fluff. And if they had even trimmed it down a little more, they probably could have gotten it down to like 6 to 8 even for how much actual story is in it. It's one of those shows that takes its time. It's pretty slow paced. Pretty much nothing happens for the first 3 episodes. Like until the end of episode 3 is like when like there's like an inciting incident in episode 1, which, oh yeah, we're doing spoilers. So I'll just say basically the whole show starts off. Cassian is out doing his own thing. I mean, the whole idea of the show is it's supposed to be kind of showing his arc from being like the chaotic, neutral anti-hero up until, he's a member of the rebellion. So at the start of the show, he's very much just doing his own thing, doing what he needs to do to survive, not really looking out for anyone but himself, but not necessarily being a bad guy either. So it starts off, he's looking for his sister, actually. Like, we find out later that's who he was looking for, but he's on some weird planet. I don't even remember where, but dystopian cyberpunk city planet, looking for his sister. He can't find any information about her, so he goes to leave, and then he gets accosted by 2 security guards who are basically like they're not Empire, but they're contracted by the Empire. Basically, it's they're like a private security company that's like works under the Empire, basically. So they're cops essentially, but he gets accosted by them. They're hassling him. I think they're trying to get some money out of him or something. It's basically a shakedown. It gets into a scuffle, hijinks ensue. He accidentally kills one of them in self-defense and then kills the other one because he can't leave witnesses. So now all of a sudden he's committed a double murder on, killed 2 cops, and he flees the planet. That's basically the inciting incident for the whole show. Because then from then on, it's like this security company. There's like one character who's mostly the antagonist for the series. His name is like Cyril Karn. He's just another security officer. He gets super invested in this case. He wants to take him down. He's all about justice, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, the higher ups, his superiors are all like, they were harassing this guy. This will make us look bad if it gets out. So let's just like sweep it under the rug and let it go. And he's like, no, this guy killed 2 officers. Like, we need to uphold blah, blah, blah. Basically, he becomes like, diehard invested in finding Andor, and without any support from his superiors. That's kind of one of the subplots that goes on. But basically, from that point until the end of episode 3, pretty much nothing happens. He wanders around, he meets a few people, talks to people, you learn a little bit of stuff, but then end of episode 3 is when he actually leaves the planet and becomes part of a rebel job. So yeah, And the reason I think they did that was because they did one of those things where it was a 3-episode premiere. The first 3 episodes of the show aired on the same day on Disney+. So, of course, they had to get their bang for their buck. But they very, very easily condensed everything in those 3 episodes down to 1 hour-long episode and would have been just fine. But no, they took their time. Things got a little... So, yeah, biggest complaint, a little too drawn out in some areas. But, geez. This show's kind of hard to talk about, like, going back like that, because there's like 3 or 4 different arcs that actually happen throughout the show. So, like, arc 1 is him escaping from the planet, getting away from the Imperials. You do get a fun, like, chase scene and fight scene in the 3rd episode when they're making their getaway. And then from then, the next few episodes are about them carrying out a job for the Empire. They're, like, stealing a bunch of credits from the Empire. He's helping the rebels, but he's there only as a mercenary, doing it for the money because he needs the money to go on the run and blah, blah, blah. That's all fun, but also way too drawn out. They probably could have done that as like 1 or 2 episodes. 1 episode setting up for the job, 1 episode showing the job. But no, they had like 2 episodes leading up to it, I think. Maybe just 1, but then they had like 1 or 2 episodes during the job. They had like an episode where about after the job when everything went wrong, and it's like... so the pacing of the show gets a little... tenuous, or not tenuous, that's the wrong word, but gets a little grating at some points, but it's still good. I mean, Diego Luna puts on a great performance as Andor, so it's like, it's still fun to watch. It's just kind of like a few moments where I was very much like, get on with it already. Yeah, then I think the 3rd arc, he ends up getting arrested because he's in the wrong place at the wrong time again, gets sent to a prison, and that... I don't know. I'll come back to the prison arc because that one was very interesting, but kind of speaks to a greater problem I have with the series. And then the final arc was basically him, like, he escapes from the prison and then goes back to his home planet and has to defend it against the Imperials or whatever. Yeah, there's like a big final showdown, and then it ends with him joining the rebellion formally. That's the show in a nutshell. All sounds good on paper, but yeah, that brings me to, I guess, my other problem with the series, which, like I said, other people have pointed out. It doesn't feel very Star Warsy at all. Like, everything down from just set design and, like, costume design. Like, most of the outfits in that show look just straight up like jackets and jeans and shirts that, like, outfits that you would see in the real world. Like, just go to any major city, look for the hipsters. They look like characters from Andor. Stuff like that. And then, like, even the weapons, like, there's pictures going around on the internet for it because, like, this is something a lot of people pointed out. Some of the blaster rifles that the rebels use are literally just like AK-47s with a little bit of like sci-fi paint added to them. And it's like, and I know the case that people have made against that is that, like, Star Wars guns have always just been heavily decorated, like real guns. Like Han Solo's blaster is like a Mauser pistol with some stuff glued onto it. Like the Stormtrooper rifles, or at least one of the Stormtrooper rifles, is just like an actual machine gun. But the thing is, like, they were still believable as like a laser gun, you know? It's like they dressed it up enough that you could believe it was a laser gun. Like, it looked like it had a little laser cartridge or whatever. An AK-47 just straight up has like that big banana clip going into it. There was no reason a laser gun should have that. The shape of it just doesn't make sense for a laser gun. So that just stuck out ridiculously in every scene that they had those guns. It just took me completely out of it. So all that to say, the show wasn't bad. It's just really, like, barely was a Star Wars show, which, like I said, probably works in its favor at this point with the state of the greater Star Wars canon. What was my other point? Yeah, I mean, there are some greater callbacks. Like, Saw Gerrera makes another appearance, but it's a very minor role. And then what's really funny too is, like, there's this thing where there's like one of the main characters, like, his cover is he's like a artifact dealer or whatever. So he has like this museum where he has like a bunch of old artifacts and items from different places, and that's his front for meeting with Mon Mothma, because she's a major character in the show too. As you get to see Mon Mothma kind of, well, her whole story arc is she's trying to move money from her family's accounts to fund the rebellion, but the Empire is tracking her accounts, so she has to do it in shady ways, and like that takes up way more time than it probably should. Yeah, that happens. Then, so the artifact thing though, like the museum, it's got some pretty fun callbacks in it. Like, it's got some actually sort of obscure ones too that are like definitely put there for Star Wars fans. Like, they've got Like one of them, they've actually got like the Gungan shield from episode 1. They've got one of those on display. They've got a helmet from like the Jedi Temple Guards that you see in Rebels. They've actually, to me, the most fascinating one is they actually have the helmet. So if you remember in the game Star Wars Force Unleashed, there was an outfit you can unlock for Starkiller, and that was basically like his bad ending costume where he becomes the new Darth Vader. His helmet from that, like, or his whole armor actually appears in the show, like on a mannequin in the background. So like they even went that deep for a reference. But yeah, and I guess what I feel like probably really exemplifies this not feeling Star Wars-y is the prison arc, like I talked about. So he basically ends up getting arrested, gets sent to this prison, and the prison is like in the middle of an ocean on like some water planet. It's like it's this weird prison, like where all the prisoners are forced to be barefoot. The floors are electrified, so if you ever act up, they like will turn on the floors and kill whoever's standing on them. And because of that, the guards don't carry a lot of weapons, which, you know, gives them the opportunity to make their getaway later. So it makes for a really fun arc, but it just does not feel like something from Star Wars. It feels like something from some other sci-fi movie, prison break movie. Like it. So I don't know. It was almost like they just used Star Wars as an excuse to tell these stories, because they honestly feel more like they would have fit in, like, I don't know, like an Isaac Asimov story, like the Foundation universe. They're doing a Foundation TV show right now. It's actually pretty good, but like this show almost feels like it would fit better in that universe than in Star Wars. Yeah, you got anything, Mingus? I feel like I'm going in circles at this point.
Wow, that opinion sure is very either bad or good, depending on your. I have no thoughts on the show. I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I mean that pretty much sums it up. It was fine.
I need a generic. I just need like a generic response that I can just give.
Well, that was pretty generic.
Nah, it petered out.
Yeah.
I'll just say this. Yes.
That sure was a TV show.
But my favorite part of Andor was when Andor said it's Andoran time, and then Andored all over the place. Truly, this show was the show of all shows.
Yeah, so it wasn't a bad show. I do give it a recommendation, but it's just kind of an anomaly. It's like, even just like between that and Rogue One, like watching this adds nothing to Rogue One. So like the show, it just as a whole doesn't really add or subtract anything from the greater Star Wars canon. It just kind of shows, it's just kind of this little pocket of time that it shows. So you get to see a little more of like the Empire in the early days. You get to see like the Senate building from the prequels again, and how the Empire have their Senate. And like you get to see, I don't know, you get to hear about banking, you know, the banking fiasco. And I don't know.
I'm laughing about something stupid right now.
What is it?
So, okay, it's okay. You know Palpatine's his whole the Darth Plagueis monologue, right?
Yeah.
And then you know, of course, the time where he called himself the Senate.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of that video where someone took Darth Plagueis the Wise, but it's the Senate, and it just replaces every proper noun with the voice clip of him saying the Senate through the whole monologue.
All right then.
Stupid, and I'm laughing about it. Darth Plague. Look, I don't much care. Look, Disney Star Wars, most of it sucks, but Tales of the Jedi was good and Rebels was good, and I still like Rogue One, despite the fact that the first half hour of that movie was very rushed. But after that, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. But yeah, Andor, it's not bad, but just not very Star Wars-y. There you go. That's my thoughts. Not offensive in any way. It's just fine. Not enough aliens. That's my other complaint. Like, seriously, in that whole scene when they're in the prison, every single character is human. Like,
because it's not Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly. It's not Star Wars. They're just that would have done so much for the show if they had just thrown in a few more alien characters. Like, they had a few of them. You know, they have like their generic cantina scene where you sweep through an area and see all the weird creatures. They had a couple of those things, but even the aliens you see there weren't that alien. They were just wearing like some prosthetics. I want to see more of like the Mon Calamari guys and like the remind me of the other species.
I don't know. Pick one. Which one do you want?
I am blanking so hard right now on any of their names. Mun? I guess a Mun. That's one.
That's one. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
The Calamari guys.
Mon Calamari.
You got that one. Yeah. Wookiees.
Who's the one that, like, the guys that the other squid-looking
werewolf
guys?
alien in the original version of
Oh right, yeah, he got edited out.
Biff. That's what the Cantina singers are called.
Oh yeah, the Biff. There you go. Yeah, so throw some Biff in there. That would go a long way for the show.
The what the hell is Ahsoka's species? Togruta.
Togruta. Yeah, there you go. Togruta. Current Shakti.
Yoda's species.
Yes, the Yodels.
Coon, whatever his thing is called. I forgot.
I can't remember. He's the only one you ever see. I can never remember what they're called. Same for Kit Fisto.
Fisto is... Okay, so Plo Koon is a Keldor.
Right.
And Kit Fisto is... Is he? Nautolin.
Yeah, I'm not going to remember that.
No one remembers these. Ki-Adi-Mundi, whatever the hell he is.
I don't know, but he's the only Jedi that's canonically allowed to...
Yeah, I know. It's because of a weird quirk in his species.
Well, it's because his species is like severely endangered, and so to help him preserve his species, the Jedi Council basically gave him a pass on the celibacy thing. So canonically, Kit Fisto's got some gets some action. Anyways, or not Kit Fisto, Ki-Adi-Mundi. He gets some action.
Right.
What was the other thing I was gonna say? Oh yeah, so I had another random thought earlier too that so there's a line in episode 6, Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
That Mon Mothma says when she's talking about the deaths.
Mon Mothma always sucked. We should point that out.
What do you mean she sucked?
Well, I mean in the original.
Oh, she was just barely in it. That was the problem.
No. I mean, like in the original continuity. I don't remember actually how bad. Basically, in both versions of the continuity, she kind of basically immediately started repeating all the flaws of the previous government, and in both the canon version and the original version, ignored all the things that were leading up to the Imperial Remnant showing up again, and basically her lack of management kind of caused that situation in both times.
Oh, well, I don't know anything about that, but also she's in
Anyways, what
Andor.
About?
Well, she's in Andor ton, and basically her entire arc there is she needs to get money for the rebellion. Which, oh yeah, I guess that's the other weird thing about Andor is it feels...
Wait, no, we're getting too far. What's the line?
Oh, the line, right. Take us back. Many Bothan died to bring us these plans or whatever.
Many Bothans.
Yeah, many Bothans.
That's his soul.
So that line just seems kind of weird, doesn't it? Like, we have, at that point in this year, like, we know, of course, us being, of superior intellect and having played Star Wars Battlefront 2, know what Bothans are. They're the species that were used as spies in the rebellion a lot. That was sarcasm, by the way. But other than that, I don't know when Bothans actually even appear in the show or the series. So the fact that she just throws... Yeah, like, I mean, I'm sure they appear like in the background or something, but like, there's no way anyone would know what a Bothan is when that line originally was spoken. So it's just like, that line just comes out of nowhere. Many Bothans died to bring us these plans. Like, that means nothing. Unless you know what a Bothan is.
No. See, that's why it's a common misunderstanding. Okay.
I know about the Tad and Bait comic.
She was talking about Manuel Bothans. His nickname was Manny. He was the guy who got the plans, and he died.
Yeah, I know. Manny Bothan, Manny Both Hands, or whatever his name was the guy that.
Yeah, Manny Bothans, and it's hyphen.
Oh yeah.
Manny Bothans.
Yeah.
See, there you go. I hope that answered that.
Yeah, that explains everything.
Are there I guess, there really aren't any Bothans in the original trilogy.
I don't know. Like, yeah, I mean, obviously there are because she mentions them. But here, let's look this up. Star Wars Bothans.
Yeah, I'm already there. I'm trying to look for their list of appearances.
Yeah, here we go. Appearances. The Betrayal of Darth Revan. So a bunch of Old Republic content. Red Harvest, Star Wars.
Didn't exist yet.
Yeah, Darth Plagueis, the novel. Apparently, they appear in that. They appear in Darth Maul, Shadowhunter, Episode 1, Adventure 5. So a bunch of like Star Wars Jango Fett. They appear in the novelization of the Phantom Menace.
All right.
Bunch of comic books. Actually, there's a bust of one in Episode 2.
Because in canon, they're in like nothing because the Legends isn't canon anymore.
Oh yeah.
I just realized I should.
Apparently they're cut content from the first Battlefront game. But yeah, they're basically exclusively in The Last Jedi. Oh, the novel. This probably has nothing to do with the movie. Doesn't seem to. Yeah, so basically, from what I'm getting, they like appear only in like extended universe content. So, yeah, what the hell was she talking about?
Didn't exist yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't know.
I don't know. Just a random thought I had.
Well, listen to this. You ever hear the tragedy of the Senate, the Wise?
Oh my God.
I thought not. It's not a story the Senate would tell you. It's a Senate, the Senate.
Oh yeah.
The Senate was the Senate of the Senate. So powerful and so wise.
I'm gonna roll the outro if you don't stop.
Influence the Senate. Dude, that was your cue to cut to an ad break.
We already had an ad break.
Did we? No, we didn't.
Yeah, I took
Those are going to be stapled together.
Well, I mean, I called it an ad break when you disappeared the first time.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go then.
Besides, we're approaching the hour mark for the total time, so I mean, we're really kind of...
Well, good. Don't worry. There's still more. There's one more thing to do. Well, it looks like we don't have time to do my one thing, but we do have time to do the other part of this episode that I've had in the wings this whole time.
Oh, is that the thing you texted me about that this episode was supposedly going to be about?
No. It still is about that.
It is.
Hold on. Let me put this. I need to put this link here.
Can I say what you told me the episode was about, or would that ruin something?
No. At this point, they know.
They know?
Yeah.
The topic is Potpourri?
Yeah, as a Jeopardy Jeopardy category, Potpourri just means the question can be about anything. I had a list of... It just means mixed stuff.
Well, next time, just tell me that.
I thought I did.
I thought you were just being a smart ass when you told me it was going to be about...
That was my genuine answer.
Yeah, no, this text says... I said, what's the episode going to be? Or what's our topic this week? And you said, the topic is Potpourri. I've got a list, but not the kind in a bag, the Jeopardy category.
Yeah, I genuinely meant that was... I thought that was clear.
Okay. I mean, I was all ready to talk about Potpourri.
Get to everything on the list.
In a
One
bag
of these things I have to save for another time now because we don't have time to get to it today.
Can you tease what it is?
Yeah, fierce. I'll just tell. One of them was going to talk about fearsome critters. One of them is just talk about the best things that we like about Scooby-Doo to offset the negativity of everyone else talking about a certain other Scooby-Doo thing.
You mean the thing that isn't actually Scooby-Doo at all?
Yeah, that one. I thought we'd offset it by talking about good Scooby-Doo.
I'm up for that.
Yeah, maybe later though.
Like the Courage movie.
Yeah, well, we kind of talked about that one already.
I'll happily talk about it again. That one in Phantosaur.
But anyways, for the second half of this, the last part of this episode, I am putting a link in the description.
Mm-hmm.
Go to that link in the Discord. Go to that link and project it on top of our banner.
Oh, I can't just... Oh my God. This takes a little more prep. I can't just project it onto the banner.
Well, it's pre-made and we don't have to arrange anything, so I figured it'd be easier.
Oh, it's a tier list. Well, I mean, it's easier than last time for sure, but I still have to like set it up in OBS to like project onto the screen.
Okay, well, you do that, and I'll talk about something else for a second.
We could just take another brief ad break, I guess.
We want to?
That'd probably be the safest bet. Ad break. Yeah. Hey, look at that. Magic of editing. It's all ready to go.
No face. He has no face. This Kong has no face.
Shall we begin with our microwavable
Welcome, everyone.
food?
This is now a tier list episode. It's about microwave foods because why not?
We're really trend surfing, riding the high of that SpongeBob tier list. Or more like chasing
the high.
Just thought
it'd be fun.
Oh, no, I'm all for this. All right, let's just start at the beginning, I guess.
I was going to do a frozen pizza, but guess what? I don't know any of the brands on the frozen pizza except for like 2.
Well, I know DiGiorno, but it's on this list. So, anyways, Banquet.
DiGiorno and Red Baron.
Oh, yeah, those are both great.
What the heck is this first one?
Some kind of banquet breakfast. I don't know this one. It looks kind of mediocre, though. So, D tier.
What it is, I'm putting it in D tier.
Chocolate chip.
Waffles.
That's A tier. Those are good, but not incredible.
A tier?
A tier for me. I like those.
Yeah, but, okay, they're good, but are they quality?
No, absolutely. This is microwavable food. Quality is not in question, is not the question here. But those are very nostalgic for me, and I want to go buy some right now.
I beg to differ. Microwave food is some of the best food.
I mean, it's good, but is it quality? Probably not.
Depends on what you mean by quality. Is this quality relative to other microwave food?
I mean, quality relative to food in general, I think. I don't know. I'm putting it in A tier. I like these.
Sure, why not?
I've got good memories.
Okay, I don't know what this next one is. What does that say? Can you read it?
Tina's variety pack.
Hold on. I'm going to look that up really quick. Tina's variety pack 28. See if I can get a bigger image. Oh, here it is. It's got beef and bean burritos individually wrapped.
Oh, it's microwave burritos.
I'm putting it, honestly, I would put it in C because I'm not much a fan of microwave burritos.
Well, I don't know this brand. I do like some microwave burritos, but I'll go with C tier just purely for the unknown factor. All right, what's this next one? Banquet chicken nuggets.
Looks like a chicken nugget mac and cheese. Okay, hold on. Is the whole thing, is it like a TV dinner or is it just the chicken nuggets?
It appears to be a TV dinner. Banquet usually is like a TV dinner kind of thing. So I'm going to go D tier,
well,
honestly.
Like
huh?
Really?
Wait, what were you going to do?
D tier for chicken nuggets? D tier for chicken nuggets and mac and cheese?
I'm just not a big fan of the whole TV dinner thing. Like, I think if they were just separate, like I like stovetop mac and cheese and microwave chicken nuggets, but if you put them in the same container, it's like the sake of convenience, it's the trade-off isn't worth it. You get stuff, I don't know.
But mac and cheese is like always good. It's like, okay,
right,
Kraft mac and cheese I don't like as much.
Okay, you're clearly more the expert on this. I'll defer to whatever you say. I don't eat a lot of microwave dinners, so.
Well, I mean,
where would you put it?
It's just Kraft mac. I would put it maybe in C because
right.
It's not. I don't want to say it's terrible. Like I'll eat it and it'll probably be good, but it's not the worst thing ever.
Yeah, let's go C tier.
In front of the burritos.
Yeah, in front of the burritos, sure. Why not?
Yeah.
Just because it's chicken nuggets.
Hell? Gosh dang it! Why is it so small?
It's looks like chicken wings. Oh, A tier. I like those.
A tier for you?
Yeah, microwave chicken wings. They're good, especially if you like put sauce on them. Yeah, that's good.
I'd probably put them in B tier because I just don't I just don't prefer chicken wings as a food most of the time. But we did mine last time, so we'll defer to A tier.
Here, wait, hold on. I'm gonna see if there's got to be Hey, there we go. I can zoom in. Let's see how's that.
Wait, how do you zoom in? I want to zoom in too.
Hold Control and push plus.
Oh gosh, I don't want to mess with that. Never mind. You can be zoomed in.
All right, that's all that matters.
Is it better or worse than Eggo waffles?
French toast sticks?
No. The chicken wings.
Oh, those? Probably a little worse.
Okay. French toast sticks.
I get a B tier for those.
A tier.
Oh, you said A. Fine, A tier, but under the waffles.
Okay, I can live with that. They're cinnamon. They're fried. They're delicious.
Okay, you're right. No, those are good. Bagel Bites S tier.
S tier.
Taquitos S tier.
No question. Taquitos in it. Yep, I'm fine with that.
Salisbury steak. It's a Salisbury steak.
D tier.
D tier. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, can I just say, I think steak as a food is very overrated. Okay, everyone holds it up.
Ooh, I love a good steak
as one of like the pinnacle. I know.
Have you ever had a well-cooked steak?
I've had well-made steaks, but it's like they're all just steak. Like it takes too long to eat, and it's like it's good, but it's the same thing every time I eat it. It's just it tastes like steak. It's like yes, it's good, but it's like there's so many other things I'd rather eat than a steak because I like so many things better than steak. But everyone's like, oh, we're going to a fancy restaurant. We got to get the steak, and it's like why? I'd rather have the fish and chips.
I like steak. That's all I got. Salisbury steak, though, is barely steak, so let's carry on. Tyson
which
chicken.
One is Salisbury steak? Is that a cube steak?
No, it's basically just like a patty of ground beef, usually, with like gravy over the top.
What makes it a cube steak?
Cube steak, it's a very like tough cut of meat that is like pounded or punctured with a bunch of little holes. I don't know why it's called a cube steak, but it's like it's a cheap cut of meat that is tenderized to hell so that it's edible.
Yeah, no, Salisbury steak. Okay, Salisbury steak's a specific dish.
Yeah,
and I think cube steak is actually a cut.
Yeah, cube steak it's a kind of like cut. Yeah, cut and preparation, I guess.
But I feel like cube steak is like it's always very tough.
Yeah, exactly. That's why they tenderize the hell out of it. Anyways, chicken patties. Tyson chicken patties.
Wait, which brand? Oh crap! Where'd it go? Where's my tier list? Here it is. Found it.
Tyson.
So is it a fried chicken patty or is it regular chicken meat?
It's like a fried chicken patty. It looks like for like a chicken burger. Are these, honestly, I'm gonna say A tier.
For a fried chicken patty, yeah.
A tier, above the chicken wings, but below the French toast sticks, I think.
Yeah, that works for me.
Loaded Doritos. I've never had these.
Okay, so this is literally it's a fried cheese bite. It's fried and it's you remember those it's like the mac and cheese bites, just cheese.
Oh, and with Dorito seasoning. That's probably...
I've never had this, so I don't know if it's good.
Well, just A tier. Okay, maybe if we tried it, it would get S tier. Or, okay, how about B tier since we've never tried it, but probably A tier if it was...
Is B tier the we don't know tier?
No, B tier... I mean, I don't know. I feel like we know enough about it to make a judgment. It sounds delicious, but probably not as good as, like, Eggo waffles. I don't know. What do you think? Where would you put this?
I don't know. It's like... Can we make just another tier of we've never eaten this?
Almost all of these would go there, so I feel like that's a cop-out.
No, because all these are concepts.
All right, fine.
Whatever.
Just put it... add row below.
How do you do that?
Let's make it gray.
Because loaded Dorito, it's too specific. It's like, do I like TV dinner with steak in it? No, not as much. Do I like Doritos? Sense. Well, it's too specific.
What shall we call this tier? The
cop-out tier.
The cop-out, yeah, there you go.
Call it the cop-out tier.
Cop-out, there we go. All right, so let's move Doritos down to cop-out. What else goes to cop-out now that we have that?
Why can't I make a tier? I can't make another row. Wait, does this button make a row?
Wait, what is this? I'm second-guessing. Okay, the first one we have in D tier, I'm kind of second-guessing what that is. Can we move that to the cop-out tier? I have no idea what that's supposed to be.
Can you first tell me how to make another row? Because I'm trying, and
It's the little options button.
Oh, no, I switched them. Oh, here's add a row.
I mean, mine's really the
only one. Add a row below.
And just a heads up, when you don't type in the name of the row until you click on the row that you just made. Does that make sense?
Cop-out tier. I'm going to make the color of this...
I made it gray.
Oh gosh, what did I open? I opened up the source code.
All right.
Wait, hold on.
Can we carry on? They can't even see your screen.
Purple. I'll make it black. I'm gonna make it teal. Why not? I don't have a teal color. I also accidentally switched to the C and D tier, and I don't know how I did that.
It's probably the little arrows next to it.
Is that what that does?
Yes. Anyways, so let's carry on. What else needs to go there? Chicken nuggets and mac and cheese.
Okay, so you said you wanted to move something from D tier?
Yeah, the whatever the other banquet meal we had there was, not the Salisbury steak, but the other one. I'm moving that to cop out because upon looking at it again, I don't actually know what that's supposed to be. Oh, it's chicken finger meal.
Oh, chicken finger meal.
What do you think?
Comes with the mac and cheese. I'd give it at least a B.
A B?
Yeah, it's mac and cheese and fried chicken fingers. What more could you ask for?
Wait, what did we do with why is the chicken nugget and mac and cheese one in C then?
Yeah, I guess by that logic it should be in C then.
Yeah, okay, let's just put them both in C just because it being okay. I'm gonna put chicken fingers above nuggets though. All right. Enough. I feel okay. This is fully accurate now. Let's carry on. Mini pancakes. These get for me honestly a D tier.
Really?
Not a fan.
Not a fan of the mini pancakes, but you love the mini waffles.
I love the mini waffles because, yeah, you put them in the toaster and they come out nice and crispy. Pancakes are supposed to be light and fluffy. You can't get that with frozen mini pancakes.
I don't know. I guess we can put it. Honestly, I don't have too strong an opinion on this, anyways.
Next one, kid cuisine. Okay, we're making a new row, by the way.
Why?
Because this one deserves to go in the shadow realm.
Oh, I love kid cuisine. What are you talking about?
No.
Which kid cuisine is this?
I don't know. All I can think of when I see those is the cold corn or something. I don't know. They're just.
The corn is always the worst part.
Yeah, it's gross.
Because it's like you get the mac and cheese. It's always the good stuff, and then you get like the other thing, and then there's the corn because you have to have your vegetables. I love kid cuisine. You are not putting kid cuisine in the shadow realm.
I'm putting it in the shadow realm. You can put it wherever you want. If this was Lunchables, we could talk. But
yours is the only one they can see. Compromise. C tier at least.
Okay, no. Not going from Shadow Realm to C.
Put them at the bottom of C tier if you're going to compromise.
Bottom of D tier.
Kid cuisine, just for the nostalgia alone, I would give it B tier.
I have negative nostalgia for this. Okay, fine. You know what? Top of D tier. That's as high as I'm going.
Fine.
Okay.
There's 2 other kid cuisines on there. Do we have to put them there too?
Well, we'll talk about that when we get to it. Chicken pot pie. Oh,
these are delicious.
S
A tier. Oh, S tier.
I'm gonna say S tier. I like these. Tater tots.
Okay. Tater tots, B tier for me.
I solidly agree with that. Chicken nuggets.
They're not a bad food. They're not like they're just like it's tater tots. It's good. But
it's good, but the microwave version is
have
never.
Cheese on it, or I'd rather it be meat or some other. It's just like there's nothing bad about that. They just
the
tater tots did nothing wrong. Okay, they're just tater tots. That's what they are.
Can we put that on a T-shirt? Tater tots did nothing wrong.
Oh, because it's too.
Yeah,
it's
too similar
much.
to something else.
It's too similar to any other of X did nothing wrong. Because it's like that's not what I mean. It's like they were made to be tater tots. That's all they can be, and they do a good job at being tater tots. But that doesn't mean that they're bad. If I have the choice between like a steak or this is a separate point. Never mind. I don't remember where I was going with this.
Can you repeat
What's
that?
next?
I need to take this down. This needs to be remembered. Tater tots are. How did you say that? Tater tots are tater tots. And
no. What do you mean? How did I? It's recorded. You can just look at it later.
Right. I'm making a quotation of that. I'm framing that and putting it on my wall. That was poetry at its finest. Anyways, White Castle. Oh wait. Okay. First, where should chicken pot pie go in S tier? Oh wait, no. Sorry, we were on tater tots. Tater tots are B tier. Okay, White Castle sliders. S tier.
What about the chicken nuggets here?
Oh, right. That's what we skipped. I do like these. They're very good. A tier?
They just hold on. Are these microwave chicken nuggets?
I mean, they're just frozen chicken nuggets. You can They probably have microwave or oven instructions typically.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's like properly made chicken nuggets with a deep fryer, delicious. Cafeteria chicken nuggets where they're breaded and they're baked, not as good.
Even a bad chicken nugget's pretty good though. I'm gonna say top of A tier for this, honestly, because I mean, some of it's up to your preparation of how you cook it.
I would give these maybe B tier. If they're if they were fried, I'd give them.
Well, you can fry them. They come frozen in the bag. You cook them how you want.
No. I mean, well, because you don't fry these kinds of chicken nuggets because they're. Oh, actually.
You can.
Yes, yeah, it depends. Because this is microwave food, so the assumption is that you're baking them.
No, it's frozen / microwavable food because you don't microwave waffles.
Hey, what? Oh yeah, I guess you don't.
A tier.
Put them in a toaster.
A tier. I'll move it lower into A tier if you want, but A tier is where I think it belongs.
Above the chicken wings, at least.
Above the chicken wings. How about?
Where is it in A tier?
Anyways, I'm gonna put it at the top of A tier. I really like chicken nuggets. I got a lot of fond memories. Oh wait a minute! I just looked further down the list and saw that Dino chicken nuggets are on this list. So, these ones will go B tier.
Oh, all right then.
Just
regular chicken nuggets are B tier.
B tier. White Castle sliders. We were just talking about these.
S tier. Do not fight me.
I will not fight you. S tier.
These are one of my favorite foods. Unironically, I will just eat these.
How far? Where in S tier are we putting these?
I'm putting them at the top. They're my favorite thing on this list so far.
Sounds good to me. And then
the Castle sliders are delicious, and I'm disappointed because all the White Castles are on the other side of the country. Only one over here. It's in Nevada.
I'm going to order S tiers. It goes cheeseburger, taquito, bagel bites, chicken pot pie. That's my order. Totino's, S tier.
Right under White Castle.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
I probably eat pizza rolls more than I eat cheeseburgers, and it's because they have a cheaper. When you get the big bags of like Kroger brand almost, it's still good especially if you cook them in an air fryer. But it's like you get more per unit, so they're just cheaper. So I can afford those more than I can White Castle sliders. Like, yeah, this is a good meal, but you get 6 of them, and that's like $7, and you can't do that all the time.
I guess. Cup of noodles. These are yummy. These are pretty good.
I do like cup noodles.
Are we talking A tier or S tier? What do you think?
I think. I'm at the top of A tier for me.
Works for me. Eggos.
The big waffles.
Yeah, the home style Eggos. These are incredible. I love them. I would probably put them S tier. What do you think?
not going to fight you. Put them where you want.
Okay, S tier. I'll put them actually below Bagel Bites, but above.
Try to put them above Totino's and sliders.
No, I'm putting them below Bagel Bites, but above chicken pot pie. All right, next. Banquet chicken fried steak.
Okay, chicken fried... I don't want this. Put it in D tier.
D tier. Yeah, D tier's fine with me.
I just like, if it's a regular chicken fried steak, like you make it in an actual fryer and you made it yourself, it's like, that can be pretty good. If it's this version, no, I don't want it.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm not a big fan of chicken fried steak in general, and microwave version is just, no.
Okay, hold on, what the heck is this? Is this a beef pot pie?
Beef pot pie? That doesn't sound...
it must be.
Yeah, it's beef pot pie. I've never had that. Doesn't sound that appealing. What do you think?
Really? I would put... Well, I mean, if chicken pot pie is an S tier, chicken pot pie is very similar.
Oh, no. Chicken and... I mean, I do like shepherd's pie, which is, I guess, similar. So maybe B tier, just because we haven't had it.
Well, I mean, I've had it.
Oh, you've had beef pot pie?
Yeah. Well, right, we'll average our opinions, and we can put it in B tier.
Well, I'll just defer to you since you've actually eaten it.
Oh, okay. I would probably put it in... If chicken pot pie is here, I'd probably just put it... It's tied with chicken pot pie. It's like, they're both good.
All right. Blueberry Eggos. These, honestly, I don't like. The blueberries are too sweet and very obviously not real. So, just like little specks of blue color in the waffles that have a weird kind of overly sweet flavor. I don't like them.
I feel like a waffle is a waffle, and I'm going to eat it anyways. So.
I mean, yeah, I would probably still eat it, but I'll put it in C tier.
C tier, wow.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
A real blueberry hate over here.
No, I love blueberries. It's just there aren't any actual blueberries in this waffle.
Yeah, it's blueberry flavored. That's all you need in life.
I'll put it at the top of C tier. Okay, it looks like another one. Another Doritos thing. Probably did the cop-out.
I'm putting it in the cop-out, but I'm putting it above the ranch because I already like that flavor, nacho cheese better than the ranch flavor.
Sure, I have the opposite opinion, but I won't argue that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I like
the ranch flavor, but you're a ranch man.
Yeah, I'm a ranch man. DiGiorno, right?
You put ranch on pizza?
No, I do not. Good. I like Cool Ranch Doritos, but that's kind of it. I'm not even a big fan of ranch dressing.
Oh, neither am I. If I'm gonna have dressing on a salad, it's Caesar usually.
Yeah, I go Caesar or honey mustard usually.
Honey mustard is good.
I love a good DiGiorno's, honestly.
DiGiorno is good. S tier.
What tier?
Maybe. S tier, maybe.
Yeah, I'd say S tier. How high up on S tier? You know, I'm gonna put it above the pies.
I like this better than taquitos.
What? Oh no, I honestly. Okay, so here's my thoughts. I like this, but you know, we're looking at frozen microwavable food. Convenience is kind of the name of the game. This is a very convenient way to eat a pizza, but on this list, it's still one of the ones that takes the longest preparation. So for that reason, I'm thinking I'm going to put it below... I would put it below home-style waffles. I like Bagel Bites and taquitos a lot more because they're quick and easy. They're fun snacks. DiGiorno is good, but... yeah, I don't know. That's my pitch, I guess.
I like them better than the Bagel Bites because the Bagel Bites, they don't have that crunch.
They do if you cook them right.
I don't know. How do you cook them?
Oh, toaster oven.
Oh, that's what I'm doing wrong.
Yeah.
I've been making Bagel Bites wrong my whole life.
I mean, they're good out of the microwave. They're just not crispy.
Yeah. I'm now realizing that.
Dino Chicken Nuggets S tier. Very high S tier. As high as you'll let me put it.
You can put it under Totino's.
All right. Yeah, I grew up eating these. Very nostalgic. The big box from Costco. Chef's kiss. I don't like these next ones. These golden crinkle fries, they're too starchy.
Oh, crinkle fries. No, if I'm going to have fries, give me shoestring.
Yeah, exactly.
The problem with all fries that aren't shoestring is that the potato to crispy outer shell ratio is all thrown out of whack on every fry that's bigger than a shoestring. Waffle fries, too much potato. Crinkle fries, too much potato. Steak fries, I don't want them. But all restaurants always give you steak fries with the steak, and it's like, just give me the shoestring. They're crispy and the salt is better.
Yeah, I mean, I like shoestring are definitely my favorite. I don't care for steak fries. Usually the reason I like steak fries is usually because of the seasoning on them. They season them differently than normal fries, and the seasoning is delicious, but it's a very different experience from eating a French fry. Crinkle cut fries, though, to me, this is just budget school cafeteria fries. They're never crispy. They're always not cooked well enough for some reason. They're always cold. and I don't like the texture. Bottom of D tier for me. Actually, you know what? Shadow Realm.
I don't have a Shadow Realm.
Well,
I guess
you can make one.
Just leave him in the cop out here.
I'm putting him in the Shadow Realm. I'm
putting him in D tier.
I hate them.
D tier.
And I'm only now realizing how much I hate them.
Like, kid cuisine, though, this is the pizza one. That's C tier.
Yeah, okay, you know what? I remember this one, actually. The pizza, I mean, even bad pizza is pretty good. And I remember that pudding, actually, was pretty dang good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that brings it up a bit for me. Unfortunately, it still has the frickin' corn, so I think C tier is as high as it can go. Yeah, C tier is as high as it's going to make it.
Look, you don't understand, man. The smell of a freezer aisle is nostalgic for me.
Okay,
whenever I go into the cold, when I go to a grocery store that still has an open freezer, like an open fridge aisle, and not all the doors are closed, the smell of that indoor freezer is like, oh, I remember this. Like that's like a friggin' Ratatouille moment for me.
All right, so where are we putting it then? I'd say I would go as high as C tier probably. Because of the frickin' corn.
We can put them in C tier.
Yeah, we'll put it at the top of C tier.
I'd let the record show I'd probably rate them just a little higher.
Fine, we can go bottom of B tier.
S.
What's this next one? I don't recognize.
Hot Pockets.
No, the other kid cuisine after the pizza.
Oh, I just put that one in B tier too. That's the hot dog mac and cheese mix stuff. The brownie.
That's C tier for me.
Fine.
Top of C tier. Not as good as the pizza.
C tier. Hot Pockets.
Hot Pockets. Ooh, I do like S tier.
Well, okay.
Actually,
they do burn me a lot.
Okay, yeah.
But also they're delicious.
Top of A tier because if there was a way to eat them without receiving third-degree burns, then maybe it would be S tier. But like I said, frozen food is convenience, and
it's impossible to eat them right. It's either it's like, okay, it's molten lava, so you cook it for a little less time, and then the inside is still cold, and it's like, gosh dang it.
Yeah, so A tier.
If you do cook them up, they always burst out onto the plate a little.
Yeah, so A tier for those just because they're delicious, but yeah, they're very inconvenient. So, okay, last one.
They do only take 2 minutes, though.
Well, 2 minutes, and then you're supposed to let them sit in the microwave to get crispy or something with the crisping pouch thing, but...
Wonder if you could cook them in the air fryer.
I'm sure you could. Okay, last one is Banquet Spaghetti and Meatballs. This looks ghastly. My gut instinct is Shadow Realm. Shadow Realm.
I'll just put it in D tier.
I'm saying Shadow Realm. Looks
I don't
disgusting.
have one. Remember, I didn't make a Shadow Realm.
No, that's your fault. Anyways, beautiful. There's our tier list.
There's our tier list. This is our download that list, and so we can save the image file.
Oh, I will. Yeah, I will.
I don't have the full one, so.
All right. Yeah, well, I'll do that after we
roll
the outro.
That's our tier. Did you roll the outro?
Not yet.
Okay, well, don't roll it yet. Anything else we need to say today?
I got nothing.
All right. Well, there you go. You're here. This is the first real episode of season 2, but not the first one we recorded. The timeline is wonky because sometimes that's how production works. You ever watch a cartoon where the production codes don't match the air dates? Sometimes it matters, sometimes it doesn't. This is one of those times. It doesn't matter. I won't be confused, don't worry.
Outro's rolling, by the way.
Okay, hold on. One more thing. Don't close it off yet. Okay. Hey, everybody. The outro's going up here. Oh, by the way, I'm Mingus. I forgot to say that. Outro is rolling. Coming up next week, I explain all of Ninja Turtles, but not next week for you. Next week for us, maybe, depending on when this gets. It won't be the next week because there's an episode in between this one, like I was saying. But rest assured, I'm gonna do it, and Futterman's brain will probably fry in the process. So look forward to that next week for us, not for you. That's how time works.
All right.
Oh wait, I have to say a thing before this is over. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot that it doesn't just fade away. It's over.
Bye.